Over 6 million Patriots rejected Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show, and now the NFL is losing their heads over it. The show was almost entirely in Spanish and completely out of touch, but it looks like Kid Rock's messaging at the Turning Point USA alternative halftime show is resonating with more people.
You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it.
It really is a war of messaging, and the NFL decided to choose this guy as their messenger for the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna say, eyes out.
Of course, that was his showing at the Grammys. That's Bad Bunny, the guy who is chosen to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, which a lot of people actually tuned out of, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But let's have a look at what actually happened there. Really? Bad Bunny explains that American patriotism, keeping our country and our language and our culture safe, is hate? But letting all those third world assholes freely cross our borders is love. No wonder Google's search for the ICE tip line soared during the halftime show. That's absolutely correct. Google searches for the ICE tip line surged during the Latinx superstars Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance. If you're wondering what Latinx means, Latinx is like this new Orwellian newspeak. Instead of it's not gendered language because there's a Latino and Latina. Latinx is indeterminate of some sort. It's too funny, but we should be mocking this stuff. That's exactly why we bring it up. Now, Eric Dari brings this up, breaking reports claiming that many fans booed Bad Bunny in person at the Super Bowl performance was perceived as a flop. Imagine if you switched the channel to Kid Rock and the All-American We Told You So. This is the scene at the Super Bowl. Now, the message behind all of this, you see there's a ton of different flags here. What he's trying to... So he says, God bless America. And the whole idea here is that he's reclaiming America. The name America is all of the Americas. There's 2 continents by the name of America, and we're all Americans. But at the end of the day, you're not American citizens. You're not citizens of the United States of America. And he's trying to usurp that and say that essentially anybody can be a citizen of the United States of America, but that's not clearly the case. But anyway, they come dancing in here. He lists off all of the nations that exist in the continents of America, North and South, as if that means anything to American citizens that are watching the Super Bowl, because it's a bunch of American players playing on American teams watching an American game. This isn't a shared experience. And the best part about this is it was almost entirely in Spanish, which, I mean, if you look at it, if you actually looked at it, if you took this, take some game that they play in Puerto Rico, where he's from, and you did it entirely in English, I'm sure people would not be happy about it. And of course, people were not happy about the showing at the NFL. The NFL having a Super Bowl halftime show where their performer sings entirely in Spanish and waves other nations' flags is 100% a political statement. Bad Bunny will go down as the worst halftime show in the history of the league. America deserves better for its 250th birthday. Absolutely deserves a lot better. Even Donald Trump chimed in on this. Laura Loomer posting this, saying President Trump said the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. He's right. He's absolutely right. Here's what Donald Trump had to say about this. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dance is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA, the United States of America, the United States of America, not just the American continents. I mean, who else is really watching this? And all over the world, the show, in quotes, is a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards for records for every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There's nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show. And watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they have no clue of what's going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, thank you for your attention to this matter. But at the White House press briefing just the day before, it was asked, are you going to be watching the Super Bowl halftime show, or where is it going to be tuning in? Would you possibly be tuning into the Turning Point USA alternative halftime show, which debuted on YouTube?
Quarters. Are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny. I must say that.
Of course. And the show that went out, if you look at the viewing, it's at 19 million at the time of recording this video. If refresh, yeah, it's just under 20 million views on the recording of that video. Now that's, of course, there was a lot of people watching the Super Bowl, and I'm sure a lot of people were still tuned in on the channel. So it's going to show, and there's going to be a lot of people bragging about how many people actually still watched the Super Bowl halftime. It's probably likely because people were still tuned in while tuning off and watching the Super Bowl, putting it on mute so that they can get back to the game as soon as possible. Here we have breaking reports coming in that many fans booed Bad Bunny in person at the Super Bowl. The performance was perceived as a flop, a giant flop. In fact, some celebrities are getting out there. Jake Paul, of which I don't really care much about what Jake Paul is doing, but this is something noteworthy. Jake Paul is calling for people to turn off Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show as a form of protest, calling him a fake American citizen who publicly hates America. He says purposefully tuning off the halftime show. Let's rally together and show big corporations they can't just do whatever they want without consequences, which equals viewership for them. You are their benefit. Realize you have that power. Turn off this halftime fake American citizen performing who publicly hates America. I cannot support that. How could you support that? That's exactly where we're at. Wild fans shout down Bad Bunny Super Bowl set with boos, total rejection. All that hype for nothing. Kid Rock would have brought down the house. We did, just in another place. Also, people commenting on Roger Goodell talking about why they chose this guy. Says Roger Goodell looked like he was going to puke while discussing the reason for why they selected Bad Bunny for the NFL Super Bowl halftime show. It's obviously he's bought and sold. What an idiot. This is crazy.
When you guys chose Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl, there was some blowback from that. I wonder what you make of that situation and what went into the decision to choose Bad Bunny as your Super Bowl halftime performer.
He's one of the leading and most popular entertainers in the world. That's what we try to achieve. It's an important stage.
He's a leading top entertainer in the world, one that clearly does not love America. And not only that, most people don't even know what he's actually had sung or what he's written or any of this stuff. They know his name because he's all over the media, but this is people being asked, what's your favorite Bad Bunny song?
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
You know nobody got one.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't know no Bad Bunny songs.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I have no idea.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
Don't know. I don't have one either.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't listen to Bad Bunny like that, but she got some his stuff.
What is your favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't listen to Bad Bunny, so I really don't even have one, man.
Right now on Kalshi, Bad Bunny has a 55% chance to sing Titi Me Pregunto as his first song. What is your favorite Bad Bunny song?
Titi Me Pregunto.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
Too funny. Nobody even knows who this guy is. In fact, I didn't know who he was until all the controversy came about because of it. Patriotic Americans are done playing nice. It took time to pick a side. Bad Bunny versus Kid Rock, Super Bowl halftime show. Watch the official halftime show. You're rocking with the Uniparty Karens. Watch Kid Rock headlining the Turning Point USA live stream event. Instead, you're straight up patriotic legend. Choose wisely. This is what's happening. And the show was great. I tuned into it myself personally and watched it. I thought it was fantastic. It was a star-studded thing. Of course, if you love America, if you like country music, if you like rock and roll, if you like that kind of stuff. Now, I would say in future, in the future, Turning Point USA does this, let's get a little more hip hop. Let's get a little more other stuff, because there are things that people do enjoy that are outside of the rock and country realm. But this was definitely on point for a show that is absolutely Americana. This was celebrating America in its 250th birthday. It was fantastic. The Turning Point halftime show is legitimately beating whatever the hell the NFL is doing, for sure. Lots of messaging going out there. Turning Point USA saying, what a show. Thanks to everyone who tuned in for our all-American halftime show. What was your favorite part? What was it? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Have you not seen it yet? Go over to Turning Point USA on YouTube and watch it. It's available still there. 5 million people are watching the Real American halftime show just from Turning Point USA YouTube channel. That's right. This was live. 5 million people were watching it live. That was concurrent viewership. And again, close to 20 million by the morning time the next day. Turning Point USA, now that's how you do a halftime show. This needs to happen every single year. God bless. Absolutely. And lots of people putting out the message saying this is the reason why it's flopping. This guy, great message here. He says this is exactly why people are tuning out and tuning in to Turning Point USA instead.
Look, maybe I need to straighten some things out for some of y'all. The reason why TPUSA is doing an alternate Super Bowl halftime show is not because, listen, it's not because Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. I know y'all want that to be the reason so you can, once again, scream about racism and all that. I know that's what you really, really want, but that's not the reason. The reason is that we are sick and tired of seeing debauchery, disgusting, anti-American, anti-family things being pushed in our faces on a day that should be for everybody. For many Super Bowls, a lot of them, and every other entertainment thing on TV, all we get is nasty, debauchery, satanic ritual style, weird stuff that a lot of Americans ain't trying to see. Believe it or not, lefties and liberals and progressives and all that, you don't live in this country by yourself. And as evidenced from the election and how the entire map was turned red, a lot of people do not agree with you. You think you're in the majority, but you're not. I mean, all you got to do is look and see how many people showed up to the memorial and how many people watched the memorial and how many people rewatched the memorial of Charlie Kirk. And you see where the majority of a lot of the people in the country, where their feelings lie. So it's for several reasons. One is, yes, we don't want to see a Super Bowl performance where the guy said, screw y'all, if you don't know Spanish, you're not going to understand it. We're going to do it all in Spanish. Excuse me, I thought this was an American English-speaking country. If you go over to his place, Puerto Rico or any other Spanish-speaking country, and do a show in German, or you do a show totally in English and they can't understand what you're saying, you think they're going to be cool with that? But this is exactly what we're talking about. We live what we say. We're not hypocrites. We don't say that we should shut down and stop the Super Bowl altogether because it's a free enterprise, but instead we create competition. And we'll see what's going to happen on February 8th, what the numbers are going to be like for the halftime show. We'll see.
Well, we absolutely saw, and that's the best point right there. As Americans, we don't shut you down. We don't say you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. If you want to alienate your fans, you want to alienate the audience, what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, forget you. We're going to go over here and we're going to do something better and people are going to love it. And that's exactly what happened. And in fact, the message was resonating with a lot of people. As these Super Bowl things, as this man just before said, the debauchery and Satanism and all this other stuff. Kid Rock comes in with a brand new verse And he's basically saying, give your life to Jesus. This is a big thing. So the lyrics that he wrote, he added new lyrics to his song. He says, there's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus and he'll give you a second chance. What a message. What an absolutely amazing message right there. And so lots of people resonating with this one, saying Kid Rock with a powerful message. This is what people are happy to see. This is what Americans love. And yes, there may be a ton of Americans that don't like this message. Well, there's a lot more Americans that actually do like this message, and that's it. So obviously, go check out the video. I'm not showing that for copyright reasons alone, but I'd love you guys to go over and check it out. The new lyrics to the song are absolutely fantastic, and that is just great. And if you like that kind of messaging, you'll love this messaging of one rogue parliamentarian from Canada, as Canada's having a unnecessary trade war with the United States. One guy broke ranks who happens to be friends with JD Vance, and he's come down to Washington to try to renegotiate trade for Canada. We'll see what happens, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.